good evening from the heart of flyover country. It's time to play Without Rule of Law. I'm your master of ceremonies, Bobby Spags, here to introduce you to our undisputed, world-renowned, top-secret panel. Riverside Will! And your host, Patrick Henry! And now it's time to play Without Rule of Law, the card game that gets you navigating the unthinkable and asks, can you brave a world beyond law? Take it away, Patrick Henry.
Well, hello. Top of the evening to you, everybody. Thank you for joining us for another exciting episode of Without Rule of Law. I'm your guide for tonight's episode, Patrick Henry. And this is Without Rule of Law, the card game that allows you to explore who you can trust with your life, your family, your loot drop, or perhaps just your last can of cream corn. Oh, cream corn is up the double, Bobby Boucher. So tonight is one of those episodes where it reminds us why we do this in the very first place. So before we get into the chaos, I'd like to get into, before we get into the scenarios, I'd like to talk about what we're doing here and why. So mutual assistance, right? We just recently had a MAG meeting here in Topeka where we featured Gary Williams. Gary came out and did some really cool stuff. So this is not about fear. It's not about paranoia. It's not about doom scrolling, but it's about individuals and communities winning together. So tonight's episode, tonight's panel is packed with obviously our MC and VP of the MPP, my friend and yours, SSG Bobby Spags. We have Casey's very own Riverside Will. He's a bushcraft guy, an outdoorsman, corporate auditor by day, and recently a brand new father, which means his preparedness lens just leveled up overnight. New achievement! And last but not least, Mr. One and Only Gary Williams. He's current law enforcement. Sure. He is has a military background, jiu-jitsu instructor, and a man who taught several of us the joys of pepper spray this past weekend. So sorry, we apologize. Sorry, not sorry, but if your eyes still bother you this week, Gary says you're welcome.
True.
It's a true story.
It's your own damn fault.
It is your own damn. Well, actually, they did volunteer. We did
damn fault.
We did not force anyone except that one kid, and he deserved it.
Right.
Whoa, easy.
Don't get in front of the whistle. It's that easy.
You know, there's always that one kid, right? But anyways, now let's zoom out for a second, real quick, before we get into the shenanigans. Over the past several weeks, we've seen something really special happening inside the Midwest Preparedness Project. Bobby likes to ring the bell and tell me all the time that our mutual assistance groups between Topeka and Lee Summit, there's something very magical happening. There's a very consistent turnout, families that show up together, kids learning right alongside the adults, real skills, real fellowship. This is real trust being built right here in Kansas City area. So between us and Lee Summit, we're doing it right, or we're doing our best to do it right anyway. It's what community preparedness looks like when it's done right. So it's not fear, it's not paranoia, but people showing up, learning together, and allowing Gary to put pepper spray in their eyeballs. Well, I mean, technically they put it in their own eyeballs, but
they did. But I encouraged them.
We did. We were like, do it, do it, do it.
2-year-old, here comes here.
Like there was a 14-year-old girl that like did it twice. She was so enthralled by it. So
wow.
Yeah.
Does it make my blush turn out well?
Yeah.
Am I flushed?
I was very impressed.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, except for when she was in the kitchen, like splashing water, just tears running down her face. Like, you okay? She's like, yeah. Okay. All right. Fantastic. So again, we're building something real. And I want to plant this idea early tonight that if the local MAG meetings are this good, oh my gosh, just imagine what the festivals are like. Multiple days of training, community meals together, campfires, and laughter, because let's face it, we all take ourselves way too serious, right? And so do most preparedness-minded people. And meeting people that don't just talk about preparedness, they actually live it. You will meet people that are going through the exact same thing you are, or people that have been through the exact same thing you've been through or going through now. So again, I want to read a couple of actual reviews from people who recently, we put a thing out on our Facebook group.
Yep.
I'm kind of asking people to talk about their experience with OC in the eyes, or some of the other previous MAG meetings. And so, and I quote, this is one of my favorite people in the whole world. So Christine Jordan, if you're out there, honey, I'd love to see you in the chats. Or Larry. Larry's been in a couple of our comment sections here recently. So Christine says, a great example. Let me put this up here. Let me see if I can make this look. Oh, yeah, there we go. Perfect. Christine says, a great example of what community means. All age groups included, demonstrations, and encouraged to ask questions. I liked how friendly and welcoming everyone was. Thank you, Christine. We really appreciate you. Julie Pennington says, she loves learning about practical and useful things that used to be passed down from generation to generation, but have vanished from our daily lives. That is a very powerful statement. Julie talks about that because she lives, well, not far from here, but she raises livestock, and it's the same thing. She's got, generational children that are helping her. And you think about that, how many of us today right now had a farm that was passed to us from our parents? Not I.
No.
Like my mom had a garden, but beyond that, like I don't even want to talk about what she did to chickens, but so there's 5 of us.
So there's 5 of us.
Anyways, this is a family show. PJ says Asher enjoyed the playtime and enjoyed practicing some new moves. The burn was real and the snacks were tasty. I love that. Yep. Thank you, PJ. We have snacks this evening. If you were in studio, you could be enjoying them with us. Miss Tara hooked us up with brownies, and like there's like a whole thing of snacks over here that you can't see off camera. It's crazy. It's like we're in a little grocery store somewhere in Beirut. But anyways, Melissa, this is one of my most favorite reviews from Melissa. So Melissa says, we started coming to learn some new skills and freshen up some skills we already had, and to meet new like-minded people, and we succeeded at both. It's amazing to see my 14-year-old daughter actually interested and participating. I thought she might have regretted her life choices when she chose pepper spray. Twice. She chose it twice. But
Just in case it didn't take the first time.
That's right.
well, the first time she put it like on top of her eyelids, and Gary was like, no, you got to put it in the eye. So then PJ came up and she was like, oh yeah, that burns. Oh, nope, and so then poor Sid, she came back up there and she got it again the second time. She's like, oh, nope, I feel it. Yep. Oh no, this is not good.
It was fun to see them both choose violence for the day. I
Choose
liked it. I liked
Yes.
it. It made me happy.
Yes.
What made me sad, that made me happy as well, but what made me sad is like you had some like very strapping
Sure.
males roaming around the parking lot grunting and pounding on their chest. Not a single one of them took
Nope.
OC to the eye.
Nope.
It
Nope.
was-
So I was pretty happy that the 2 ladies were willing to step up and do it, and that was really impressive. I was really happy about it. I was really excited about it. So
yeah,
they chose violence, and as they should.
As they should.
As
As
they
they should. As one should in a civilized society.
Absolutely.
I asked PJ, I was like, so why did you choose to do that? And she was like, I was in the Army. No, excuse me.
Marines.
She was in the Marines. And she's like, we did the gas chamber, we did that stuff, but she said, it's not the same. Like, I want to experience what it's like to, on the street, actually deal with that. And she did. She learned firsthand because, oh my God, that poor girl's face, her eye was all red, it was just running. But good for you, PJ. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you, Sid. Thank you, Melissa. You're raising an awesome young human being. Melissa also says we love the campouts. They force us to make time for things we usually don't, but we make time for them. That is amazing. That's amazing. Because again, it's true, right? All of us say that we're too busy to do fill in the blank, but this is one universal truth that I found over and over and over again. We all make time for the things that matter the most. And no matter what you say, no matter what you do, if it doesn't matter to you, you will not make time for it. And Melissa, thank you so much for making time for the festivals. We appreciate you. So getting into it. So that's not marketing. That's not real families. That's real skills and real community being built every single day or every single month at our mutual assistance group meetings. And this is what we mean. It's not theory. It's practice. It's people living the right way and doing it together as a community and a tribe. Okay, so with that, I'll shut up and let's get into the shenanigans for tonight. Gary, we're going to start with you, okay? So, Gary, you have trained civilians. So let me close this. Let me get us back out on the screen here. There we go. All right. Hi, everybody. Okay, so Gary, you've trained civilians in law enforcement and military personnel under stress and pressure, right?
Right.
So who actually learns faster under stress, and which group learns better long term?
That's a great question. I've said this many times, and this is absolutely true. Civilian students absolutely want to train. They want to be there. They're paying to be there. Now, I have found over the years, I've been teaching military, law enforcement, civilians for probably close to 15, 16 years. And hands down, civilians want it more. Civilians tend to retain it more. They want to train more often, mostly because they're there to pick up skills that they think most civilians or most military and law enforcement have. But I'm here to tell you right now, most cops only train when they're told to. So they go to their 40 hours of in-service that they have to have every year. And that's when they do all of their training. Very few officers and military want to go and train outside of that time that they're being told to go train.
Yeah.
So realistically, right, people are out there, the civilians who I train absolutely want to train and work harder. And that's all of you guys. You want to train and you want to work harder than most civilian, most law enforcement, and most military. And that is an absolute truth that I have found. Truly, and I'm not exaggerating, I can count probably the amount of police officers that I've trained in the last 15 years. It's probably about 7.
Wow.
7.
Holy cow.
Thousands of civilians.
We had more than that at our last MAG meeting.
Right. But law enforcement officers, a lot of times, and it seems like maybe I'm crapping on law enforcement, and I'm not.
He's not.
I'm not.
He carries the line.
I've been doing it for a long time, and I want my fellow officers to go out and train a lot more than they do. But most officers who are working the street go to in-service and they train hard when they're there, but they don't really want to go and do it past 5 o'clock. They don't want to go and pay their own money to go train. So, and that's something that I've found to be very frustrating over the years.
You think that has to do with institutionalization, whereas the average civilian going into these training facilities, they have a different job. You know, they're working at a bookstore, at the gas station,
Jules.
Walmart, whatever. The cops and soldiers are already working the job, and so maybe there's an institutional mindset of I don't need to train.
Absolutely.
It was the same for me in the Army. We never wanted to go into green cycle ever. We wanted to work the road, do all the fun stuff. At least we saw it, but we never wanted to train.
Right.
And I wonder if it's because you get I already know that mentality.
I think so.
I don't need it.
I think so. I think that's very, very true. Most of the officers that I know, again, since they're getting paid to do this day in, day out, they're like, why should I go pay to go train? If my department wants me to train, then they'll pay me to go train. Where that was really the wrong attitude. That's the wrong attitude for all of us, and especially those of us who carry a gun professionally every single day. We should be striving to be better. You know, we should be looking for those training opportunities. And most of the SWAT guys that I know that I train with, they fit that bill, right? They fit the bill of, I want to go and train as much as I can. Those guys will go and seek out training outside of the department. But again, those are the SWAT type guys who really are wanting, they really want it. And that's what I've gravitated towards my whole life. For 4 years, I was in charge of the quick reaction team at out of Forbes Field when I was active duty. And so our SWAT team, that's what we called it. You know, our guys, myself, Josh Holloman, we were out there looking for any training opportunity we could go to. And we spend thousands of dollars of our own money to go out and make ourselves better. And that's translated into not just fire, but into the skills I take to my civilian job to help protect the public and protect students, you know, to make myself better, to help them be able to be comfortable in their life.
So you and Josh and a handful of those guys, you're the exception to the curve that you just defined. And to summarize what you said, the average Leo guy has the minimum amount of flair.
I think that's true. I think that's true. Absolutely. Me, I'm trying to rack it up, right? You know, everybody's got a case of the Mondays except for me, man.
Oh,
you know, so.
All right, guys, you heard it right out of the man's mouth himself. You got to step up your flair. You got like that's 16 pieces of F.I.R.E. That's the minimum. We expect you to do a little bit better here, Tchotchkes. That's a fantastic answer. Thank you very much, Gary. So just in case you guys didn't catch that, Gary knows what he's talking about, okay? And to you at home, Jules, I hope the surgery went well today. Love you, babe. Praying for you. I know that you were struggling, and I got faith in you. You got this. You got this. Plus, you got Glenn, right? And you got a Jasper.
And Jasper.
Yeah. She's good.
And the cat.
And the cat. Yeah, the coolest cat in the world. It's like a cat dog. I've never seen a cat on a leash before. It's so weird.
Is it a Maine Coon?
I don't think it's a Maine Coon,
so,
but it's a big ass cat.
It's a big cat. Yeah. I want a Maine Coon because I've heard that you could do it.
Up. They're big.
Yeah, and I heard that they will put them on a leash.
Yeah.
See, I could go way off on a tangent. We can start talking about cats.
It's got to feel like 20 pounds of raw chicken a day. That gets expensive.
Yeah, could you imagine that? Yeah.
You got to get a special license.
Right.
Be open to certain inspections.
Now, if you had a chicken ranch and this is where.
Right.
All right, recycling comes into play.
We create an event where people can watch from high seats with binoculars. You release the chickens, they run out, the Savannah cats come in.
Oh man, can we make a little Spartacus arena and let this happen? Like trap doors.
Build a little aluminum foil.
I love it.
Sounds great to me.
I'm in.
Yeah, we're all getting canceled tonight. Oh God. All right.
Not yet.
Not yet.
I have not yet begun.
We haven't said anything yet.
The gloves have not come off yet. Okay, let's go to Will. Will, we're classically we start off easy. Last time we went like right in, like knuckles deep. This time we're gonna go a little bit slower. So Will, you go from spreadsheets and audits to bushcraft and fire starting, right? Is that fair?
More or less, yeah.
What skills overlap between corporate life and wilderness survival that people underestimate?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Time management.
Oh, this is a solid answer. He had this answer before, and shame on me. But explain that.
In your day-to-day corporate life, in your day-to-day work life, you have to prioritize a number of tasks based on what needs to be done most rapidly and what you can do most quickly. When you're outside doing literally anything, you have so much sunlight, you have so much energy, you have so much time until you need to do XYZ thing. Then you have certain more time-sensitive items as well as items that need to be done at a certain time window. Fitting all of those into a synchronized timeline that you can get done, as well as self-assessment for how long that you will take on those tasks, is massively important for success no matter what you're doing.
Extremely critical. And I can understand that time management because throughout the day, again, we alluded to that at the beginning of this episode. We do oftentimes make time for the things that matter the most to us, and we will, like in our back of our mind, we will triage those things that we're like, oh, I can do that later, or I got time, and then we find ourselves behind the eight ball, like, oh shit, it's already 5 o'clock, right?
And a level of that too is being realistic with the I can't do that, or that is something I'm not going to do.
Yeah.
You have to be okay with saying this is something that's getting cut off the chopping block and we're not going to be able to do that because it's just not a priority.
100%. From a managerial perspective and what I do for a living, you look at things holistically in that same light. If I can't do this in this moment, if I don't have time to do this now, do I have time to delegate it to someone else who does? And looking at that, again, from this is just a time versus matter versus how bad does it need to get done equation. If the maths, you'll make time for it. If not, you'll find someone that can help you out.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic answer. Clip that. We're trying something. If we say that all night long, it's not a game, I promise.
It's Skynet. Don't trust the science.
It might be a drinking game. He's lying.
This is probably a drinking game.
It's probably a drinking game.
If you see us going like this, yes, don't worry.
Hey,
Carrie.
Carrie's in the house.
Carrie in the house. Carrie's a guest on the show here a while back.
For ladies' night.
Yeah, for ladies' night. It was pretty good. That was Dawn Gorham.
Yep. And Angela.
And Angie. Yes, that was a great episode. I felt so bad. I felt like we beat Dawn up. She was like, "Oh my God, what did I sign up for? You guys are a bunch of no, we were not. We took it easy.
She's been out to the festival. She knows all about us.
She does. Yes, she does.
She's good people.
All right, guess where we're gonna go next? Bobby Smith.
Oh, hey, process of elimination.
Yes.
Who would have thought? Like I was a beard getting to talk on a show like this.
Whoa! You know what? At least he said white guy. All right. So speaking of white guys in the beard,
Appalachian American.
he is like we've had this discussion. Bobby's more like a Mediterranean Mexican. I'm more like
Phil, you're a Pacific
Yeah,
Mexican.
Pacific Mexican.
I'm a Mediterranean Mexican.
Yeah. Yeah, it happens. Anyways, moving right along. Bobby, seeing SSG Spags at the BOL, right? So for those of you that don't know, BOL is bug out location. So Bobby, at the BOL, you are tasked with managing detainees during a full communications blackout from your group leadership. What's the first thing you do while balancing compound security and your family life?
If you've got actual detainees at your bug out location, you probably don't have a family life. At that point, your family, in my case, it would be my wife. In anyone else's case, it could be their husband. If you're managing detainees at a bug out location post event, you do not have a family life. Your spouse is now filling that role exclusively with children while you are watching, unfortunately, these vagabonds that you have in your midst. If you find yourself that unlucky where you're detaining people in a world without the rule of law, you don't have time to go home. You got to figure out first off, why are you detaining them? Second off, you got to segregate, silence, all the S's, right? All those things you got to do with these guys. You got to keep them where they can't talk to each other. They have to be fed. They have to go to the bathroom. Unless you have a full detail with you, you're doing a lot of damn work with detainees.
I half-ass expected you to say something to the effect of, you make them get on all fours and you stack them in a pyramid.
Oh, no. That was so 2003. We don't do that anymore.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
But yeah, I have blacker sites for that now that you can't find on Google Earth.
Fair, totally fair.
We go from black to black square to black Earth to blackest sites.
That never happened,
Yeah,
just so you
Chicago.
know. All of that was
Lakes.
AI.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that if you're in a situation that requires you to detain people, that balance between family life and your duty to your group, your tribe, right? It kind of finds itself in an impasse where you are really, I mean, yes, you love your family, you have that obligation, and you're actually safeguarding them by doing your job.
Yeah, balance is a term of privilege. We get to say that in America because we're privileged. We get to have balance. But if you're in a world without rule of law, there is no such thing as balance. There's just the job, whatever the job is: picking corn, harvesting animals, tending to the pigs, watching detainees. There is no balance in that world. You have a job to do, and if you don't do it, people die. So you have to stop looking at this work-life balance. I got to sit there and do my hot yoga. No, at that point, you're committed, 100%.
Yeah. Especially, and that was the qualifier I found in that one to be kind of the catalyst, is that you have a blackout, communications blackout. So it's you alienated from those that you would seek guidance from. Right. Say, hey, this person, fill in the blank, what do you want me to do if they do X, Y, Z? You probably already have this protocols worked out, but it just adds another air of, I'm not going home tonight, honey. Put my plate in the microwave.
Remember, bug out locations aren't the U.S. military. There is no resupply. There is no endless supply of drones and aircraft carriers trucking things in. There's no UMOC. There's none of that kind of stuff.
100%.
So what you have on site is what you have on site. So if you have a detainee, you're keeping them away from your stores, away from the people. They're not seeing how many kids you have, how many women are there. They're not seeing any of that. And to segregate at that level on 5 acres worth of property, that's a lot of work. There's no balance. You're 100% committed.
Yeah. Do your job. You're not going home tonight. Fair.
And then when that's over, then you get to go home, have the big piece of chicken, and have the marital embrace as a thank you for your services.
Oh, coitus. You get to be the big spoon.
That's right.
Fair. Totally fair. Let's see here. All right. So moving right along. Speaking of coitus, should it span situation, Gary? Law enforcement response is delayed indefinitely. What is the ethical line civilians struggle with the most when self-policing becomes real?
Ooh, that's a great question. We've kind of talked about this maybe a little bit in the past. I mean, I think eventually after people start to realize that there's nobody coming to help and you're starting to self-police, I think it starts to turn into who's got the biggest stick. I mean, unfortunately, I think that's probably what's going to start to happen. How long will that take? I don't know. Is that going to be a week, 2 weeks before they realize there's nobody coming to help? There is no more law enforcement.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, the person who has the biggest stick out there is going to be the one making the rules.
Wow. So like it's almost immediately devolving into, Australian level of apocalypse where we're breaking out fetish leathers and strapping people to the front of trucks.
I hope so.
Okay, it's Tommy, don't live there.
Morton Joe.
My stick is bigger than yours.
I said my
That's right, man. I'm trying to lift those weights so I can be Lord Humongous. All right. Yeah.
To you ladies out there, just so you know, this is a joke. We're just joking.
Yeah.
Are we?
Wow, Mad Max.
He
Okay,
doesn't have to have the clear fake breastplate on to have fake muscles. He's got the real muscles.
Well, right now a little bit of table muscle, but
No,
we're trying to work on it.
it's
you
called
know.
going gray, man. You can't let anyone see what you got.
you're storing up for the apocalypse.
Right,
It's
yes,
totally
exactly.
fine. It's totally fine. It's like a bear that is getting ready for hibernation. This is what we do.
Dromedary camels have more water than a single hump camel. Just saying.
I hear that. Okay, so Bobby, let's jump to you. We're gonna go reverse order this time. We picked on Gary. Last time we picked on Will. Let's go to Bobby. So Bobby, this is gonna be a weird one. I know that this is gonna be a weird one because it's just gonna be a weird one. So Bobby,
Yeah.
if somehow El Jefe, the current El Cheeto in charge, Senor Trump, runs for a third term and wins his third term, what's the psychological impact on cities you'd prepare for more than a political one?
Dear God. Okay, so the question is, if Trump wins a third term and it actually sticks, what is the psychological effect on major cities?
Yeah, my thought process with this one is if you've seen the movie Civil War that came out last year about how the country was divided and it literally ruled into a, well, what kind of American are you scenario. Where do you find yourself, like I said, from a more psychological impact versus a political one?
Psychological, it probably would not have that big of an impact. That's why we do what we do. We war game these things out in our heads ad nauseum. I mean, so many things would have to happen for an actual third term of a U.S. president. Anything from suspending habeas corpus to amending the Constitution. There's so many things in between for that to actually happen. If any of that happened at this point, it would not surprise me if somebody has it somewhere on their 2026 bingo card already. The world has been such a meme for the last 10 years. Nothing would shock me at this point. I think the bigger shock would come to those who get all their news from Reddit or X or CNN or Fox. They would not see it coming and they would absolutely lose their shit over it. And then people like us would have to deal with the mess that they would create in the ensuing pandemonium.
So in the city aspect of that question, the psychological effect on those living in the city, where do you see that? Not just you personally, but those people that you just described.
The people in the city would riot like crazy. And I think if you in order to get to a third presidential term under the current law, you are probably going to have martial law declared in some places. You're probably going to have detainment centers being erected very quickly. I mean, it's going to be such a mess. I don't think that there would be very good psychological foundation in a city for a third term for anybody at this point.
Gary's itching.
Only because the nature of most people is what we want to be comfortable.
Yeah,
I think there would be some protest. I think there would be some amount of that, but in the end, people are lazy.
you're going to find it
In the end,
yeah,
the masses want comfort. They still want that they want that handout, or they want the power to still be on. They want to be able to go get some hot Cheetos. In the end, I think you have some rioting, and at first, but that's even going to subside when they realize that, you know what, if you turn the power off, now I can't get these things. So maybe I'll just go back to mom's and go to the basement.
The real question is who's funding the riots?
Right.
Because we saw people in Minneapolis in -3. They didn't care about comfort anymore. They were mad enough. They were out getting in the face of law enforcement.
But was it really kind of a
mad enough? Yeah,
a minimum amount of people though. When you really think about it, it wasn't
professional agitators.
Yeah, it wasn't tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands. We're talking
that
maybe
won't happen until everyone's cold hungry. Until people are cold hungry and their children are starving, you're not going to have mass protests. You're going to have protests. It's going to be
sure. But if things are still kind of status quo, I mean, it might be something where people are still going to protest and complain.
To get
But
to
in the
third term,
end, you
though,
kind of
how
go,
how much status quo is still there at a third term? That's unconstitutional.
I mean, yeah,
Real shit would have
for
to
me, I mean, that's
change, you know?
right. That's awful. I mean, we all agree that would be one
Yeah.
of the worst things that could possibly happen. But in the end, if it's not really changing, if things are still going, if I can still go to Walmart and
Get your milk
get
and
my
your toast.
yeah, if I can still go get some storm supplies, so I can get
Yeah.
my milk and my bread.
Yeah. I have to think about all the things that might, to get to that third term, something led to that.
Sure.
Something led nationally to the point where we're either holding an Article 5 convention, which hasn't happened, since the 27th Amendment? I mean, that's a long time. It's been
Sure.
almost a century since we've had that happen.
But just psychologically, I'm just like, I think people would complain, but in the end, they
Yeah.
would just go with it because we're too into our comforts. I think the people who are
The
prepared,
5% on the ends would probably be the loudest.
sure,
Yeah.
you know, but overall, if you could still go get stuff and your house was still warm,
Yeah.
are you really going to protest that much?
Do you think that your house is still going to be on if we're going to a new unconstitutional move for a third term, though? What happened to get there? That's the question. What
Right.
happened to get to this point where even the government's like, yeah, cool, we're totally okay with this? Something bad happened to
Yeah.
get there, because
Yeah.
it hasn't happened since FDR. you
Right.
know?
I don't know if this country, in my understanding of history, has ever experienced riots on that scale, coast to coast like that. Now, if there was anything that came close, it would be when people got pissy over a 3% raise on T-tax or something to that effect, and causing, again, some type of rift between the powers that be and the current structure that people accept as socially normal versus, that's it. Grab your torch and pitchfork, boys. We're marching, right? Because today we have what many would consider crisis actors versus the level of riots we saw during the Watts riots, or even some of the more recent stuff like that you saw during the summer when they occupied Chap and what was that?
Chad.
Chad,
Yeah,
the
Chad.
Chaz and Chad. So I mean that, yes, that was localized to one city, but if that was something that was widespread coast to coast, what would that look like? Because again, from a psychological perspective, gas trucks aren't running, grocery stores are not restocking shelves. You're talking everything shut down, because if you're getting yanked out of your truck and beat down, you're not. I'm not driving the truck. I'm going to park my hot Cheeto truck in the backyard, and like we're going to have hot Cheetos for months.
Think about the drafter of the American Civil War when all of New York was on fire.
Yeah.
That was even more recent than the American Revolution that you were talking about. There were massive riots in New York City, in Philadelphia, and Boston because people didn't want to be drafted into the war. Like that was like to the point where the U.S. Navy was shelling New York City. Like that was a real thing. So, man, and that was after Abraham Lincoln suspended, at least in part, habeas corpus and did a due process in order to declare war on fellow countrymen. It was a weird time. So that's why I say if something went to that level where even if it wasn't Trump, it could be any president declares a third term and somehow wins, it means that the system has been stacked for the last 4 years in such a way where all bets are off. It seems like that's just really dangerous stuff.
An important factor of this is, would it force political unification among non-political individuals?
Oh,
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
people
that's
who don't
good.
normally
Clip that.
care.
Right. So all of your people who are normally uninvolved, who have not been showing peak capacity for these sorts of things, who are not going out and protesting, are those people going to become upset enough that they become the actual force behind the screaming children?
Right.
Because the children go out and scream all the time, but they've showed you as much as they can scream. They don't really have much more than they've shown you.
sure.
Do all those people who don't do that, does that put them to the point where they go, all right, we'll go out and support the kids?
Yeah.
Right.
What gets the people who just want to be left alone to actually do something?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Does that push them to and does that also bridge the political gap between the two sides?
Yeah.
To the point where, because I mean,
Would you have right-wing constitutionalists siding with left-wingers over a third term that's unconstitutional?
and I would be,
bedfellows.
I would be far more afraid of a person who has been definition, the biblical definition of meek,
Yeah.
who's been holding on to the sword, preparing for it, ready with it, who then says, it's time for me to use this thing.
Sure.
As opposed to, again, the screaming child
Right.
who's been showing me the absolute height and depth of their capacity for decades.
You bet.
I guess I still come back to, honestly, how many people are really going to give up their comfort to go out and do that? I mean, I don't have enough faith in the general population.
Weak society. I don't need to be afraid of you.
I 100% agree. I mean, need to get to a third term.
I mean,
that comfort's probably been removed to a point just to get to
right.
that.
I mean,
Yeah.
Maybe so. I guess you know, I've always been drawn to the originally when we were survivalists back in the 90s, right? So yeah, you know, I was involved in preparing for the Trilateral Commission. Right. And
Y2K,
right,
buddy.
yeah, oh, even before, like
Yeah.
when Clinton was elected, I was pretty sure the end world was coming.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so
Waco, Ruby Ridge.
oh yeah.
Gonzales,
So I'm just,
all that
you know,
stuff.
so I've always
Yeah.
been drawn to this group and these people. People in this movement are going to be prepared and have probably the guts and the integrity and the ability and the desire to go out and do it. But I am just not convinced when I walk around Walmart and people are Wally riding around on scooters. I just don't think that the vast majority of people are going to be willing to give up their comfort to go out.
I agree that that's the case right now for sure. And it would probably be the case for an extended period. It would take a lot to get people out of that.
Gary, I think to quantify, or better still, qualify what you said, or summarize what you said, that there will be two types of Hawaiian shirt wearers.
What kind of an American are you?
You'll have the guys on vacation, and then you'll have, you know, the other
The
ones.
Boogaloos.
You guys didn't tell me I was supposed to bring my red sunglasses tonight. Come on, man.
I
Sorry.
think we're allowed to say Boogaloo again, right?
We are.
Yeah. I think Boogaloo's back on the table again.
Boogaloo! All right.
Boogaloo's back on the menu, boy.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, to everybody here in the room and everybody that's watching back on Facebook and on YouTube, just want to give a quick shout out. Our homie Matthew T. Hammis. I always butcher Matt's name. Hammis. I'm just gonna say them all. It's his birthday, so if you guys could jump in the chats in the comment section, tell Matt happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
We love you and we appreciate you, Matt. Thank you for everything you do. Hopefully Tiffany gave you a foot rub and like scrubbed your bunions.
Wow, how do you know he has? It's the daddy text. Like, you know.
Yeah,
Achievement.
totally true. Happy birthday, brother. Okay, all right. Top of the hour, top of the half hour, Bobby. We had a couple of announcements to share with the crowd. You want to bring some cool factor to it?
Let's go ahead and talk about the two sponsors for tonight's episode. The first of which, of course, is Gary Williams with Fire Defensive Skills. He will be giving us 2 more certificates to basic level classes at the upcoming festival, which will be May 5th through 10th at Bloomington West Campground near Lawrence, Kansas at Clinton Lake.
Oh, that's the wrong one.
That's the wrong one. Now you gave away all the surprises. Anyway, Gary Williams has been giving self-defense, shotgun, pistol, rifle, stop the bleed, all the cool stuff, all the stuff you need to know, all the skills that you need to know, all the fire defensive skills that you need to know to prepare for the future that you see coming. And remember, they hate you. You need to train like it. And as we were talking about, what Gary said at the beginning is absolutely true. You need to take the $50 you were going to spend on that giant bag of Milky Ways and use it to go take a Pistol 1 class or a Stop the Bleed class. Maybe sign up for some martial arts class, female self-defense class. He's done these female self-defense classes at the festivals. He's now done the less lethal training at our MAG meetings. He's done all sorts of stuff. We've partnered with him for the last 3.5-4 years at this point.
Yeah.
And before then, he was a partner with us at the Kansas Prepper Expo and Full Spectrum Preparedness. He's been a part of this community, an active participant in this community. So give Fire Defensive Skills some love. Look them up on their website. Look them up on Facebook. Links in the description below. That's sponsor number 1. Sponsor number 2 happens to be someone that Gary turned me on to when we were doing a private security detail a few years ago. Flex Hard Holsters, my buddy Paul. I own no fewer at this point than 10 or 11 of his holsters or cards. And let me tell you right now, it's the quickest turnaround, the best service, and the best prices you're going to get on custom kydex anywhere in the Topeka area. That I promise you. I almost exclusively use his stuff, and I say almost because before I met him, I bought my big holster, online before I knew that there was a local guy. If I had known Paul was around and Flex-Hard was around, I would have purchased it through him.
100%.
So those T Flex-Hard holsters, he's the only person I know on the market doing triple plates. For Christmas, I don't know if you can even find it on his Facebook. He made my wife a thing. Scroll down there until I tell you to stop. It's bright orange. My wife, the kids take all her stuff, her pens, her lighters, her chapstick, her scissors, anything like that. And so I went to Paul this last Christmas, and I'm like, dude, can you make this? And he's like, what in the hell are you talking about? And if we can get it, if we can find it, it's the most god-awful thing you've ever seen. Kydex. And there it is, right there, orange. That right there, he made for my wife. That was one of her Christmas presents, so she never would lose her Sharpies, her pens, her lighters, her expensive scissors, or her chapstick ever again. And when I had him custom make that, he looked at me like I must have been dropped on my head as a kid. And then when it was all done, he totally understands. And now it sits right by her nightstand. And guess what? The kids don't take her stuff anymore.
That's right.
It has a place. Flex-Hard holsters, Fire Defensive Skills, the two sponsors of this event. Also, Flex-Hard just sponsored our last mag meeting where you were at too. He gave away a medical bag. So
yeah, very nice, very very cool medical bag. Well, actually, it was like a EDC carry bag with a set of kydex shears and tourniquet holster,
and all that kind of stuff.
and then a certificate for a custom holster of your choice.
Yep.
And I've been going to Paul too for a number of years. I take his stuff and I run it at my classes when I'm teaching. So I'm rolling around on the ground with the stuff.
Yeah.
I've busted the straps on it. The screws have come out of it. I've taken it to Paul and he will hook me up.
Yep.
He fixes the equipment. He likes to see how much I can abuse it.
Yeah.
So that way he can kind of say, hey, look, this guy's running it, and it's being abused and used, and he fixes it right up for me. And I totally believe in his product. I love his
100%.
stuff. So
if I'm going to get training in Topeka, it's Gary. If I'm going to get holsters in Topeka, it's Paul. It's that simple. You heard it from Spags right now.
Spags' favorite stuff right there.
Yep.
You can find them both on our Facebook page, as well as sponsors on the website. If you look at the festival tab on the website and go underneath the 2026 festival, scroll all the way to the bottom. These guys' information is in there, and we'll drop those later on in the comments section as well. All right. Okay, so let's move on to a harder one for Will.
No.
All right, so William, have you heard the rumor that NASA has discussed coming up in August and September of this year, based on the South Atlantic anomaly and the two North Poles that they've recently admitted they're tracking, that there is a potential geomagnetic disturbance NASA is predicting between August and September, where they anticipate gravity will cease to function as we understand it for a period of between 7 and 30 seconds. You aware of this? If you're not, you are
now.
I watched the Y-Files about this one.
It's the lizard people.
People.
Okay. So this is a thing, like, to you folks at home, don't want to scare you, but look that up. There's a lot of speculation and conjecture floating around talking about how they've been tracking this for a while. Tie this in with what we know about or what we think we know about the South Atlantic anomaly, and it's some scary stuff. It's like tinfoil hat meets, well, how the hell do you survive that? But, Will, to your question, what modern system breaks first? So if gravity actually did go away or go sideways for 7 to 30 seconds, what modern system breaks first, and why is it not the one people think it is?
Water systems, because most of them are gravity powered.
Ooh, yeah.
Most modern, like your city water is gravity powered. It's not pressure powered. It's not powered by pressure. It's powered by gravity. So it would immediately be gone. The mass of water at the top of the hill is the only reason why you have any water pressure at all. So it'd be gone immediately. Like it wouldn't be like it wouldn't be like when the water's out and you still have like 30 minutes or whatever of water you can get out, or like a certain amount that you can kind of rip out of the tap before it's gone. Like it'd be gone, like gone. It'd just be gone.
Sure.
That would be the most immediate effect. Although somewhat predictable, I would say, seeing as I just did. Outside of that, the second thing that would probably be very noticeable is that your vehicle wouldn't have traction. And so all roads would be unusable within a matter of, immediately. If I can't stop and my car is going forward and it no longer has traction, I'm going to slam into everything in front of me at 60 miles an hour.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very logical and tangible answer. You know, when you talk about that, when I first was putting this down on a paper, what came to mind for me was the movie Passengers, which was an interstellar movie starring Jennifer Lawrence and Star-Lord Chris Pratt. He's an engineer on a spaceship, supposed to be keeping the spaceship running as they go to this new planet. And his pod, you know, something happens. He falls in love with this girl. He wakes her up out of her slumber, only to realize there's like another 99 years before they get to their destination. And they're both going to be dead by the time they get there, right? So there's a scene in the movie, and if you haven't seen it, I apologize for the spoiler. Spoiler alert. If you want to watch the movie, just like plug your ears now. So there's a scene in the movie where Jennifer Lawrence, she's swimming in this pool on the spaceship, and the spaceship is it's having malfunctions because it went through a meteor shower, and systems are systematically failing. So they lose gravity on the ship for a period of a minute or two. And she was swimming, and then all of a sudden she's encompassed in water and she can't move. She's trying to swim, but there's no gravity. So no matter what she does, she's just stuck sloshing around in this water. So that's what I thought of immediately. You're probably right, because if we did lose gravity from just a general sense.
Well, we're not. So like, it wouldn't be that we've completely reversed gravity. Things aren't just going to like shoot off, right? Or like they're going to continue in whatever motion they've been, but anything that's powered by gravity is now gone.
That's my thinking.
So, right. So like water's gone, and your vehicle, the engine still runs, and it's not going to just up into the sky like a balloon, but it's not going to have traction because the traction is relying on gravity, right? So anything that's like your house isn't going to float away if gravity were to just be gone. Mm-hmm. But if you jumped up into the sky, there'd be nothing stopping you from continuing to go up.
Sure.
Right. So but I would feel like most people would immediately grasp the fact that, oh, I'm no longer going down. I shouldn't maybe push myself off the ground. But things that are, again, reliant on gravity, those are going to get messed up. And anything where it's already it already has too much motion applied on, too much force applied to it for the lack of gravity to be now accounted for, it's going to get messed up.
Clip that.
All of the Seventh-day Adventists are going to say, we're right, for like 30 seconds. Back down.
They're going to jump to heaven.
Can you imagine?
All the kids on trampolines, dude. It's going to be bad.
like Kid Rock. Oh,
Here's
man.
your third term, Trump.
Like I can see it now. Oh man!
And then 30 seconds later, it's raining.
Oh, yeah, that could be bad. So if you are a Seventh-day Adventist out there, strap yourself like in the movie Twister to a pipe in a field. You'll be okay. I promise.
I think Crunchy Mama Farm said that about falling cows for so many seconds wouldn't be very good.
You know what? You're probably not wrong. If this is Sean, I'm assuming this is Sean. Can you imagine that? Just millions and millions of head of cattle just raining down, like somebody launched them from like a trebuchet.
Just it'd be like medieval combat.
East Oklahoma, that's a real fucked up looking milk.
Man.
It's really funny now, but in about 10 seconds.
Well, maybe cows really are coming home.
I would want to see, like, honestly, like if the greenhouse effect is real, because if the cows are floating, you would think about it like an opposite and equal force. If the cow farts, it's gonna like, right?
New achievement.
I'm just saying, like, I want to see this now. I want to see this through.
So for all the times that people said when pigs fly, this is time to cash in that check, is what I'm
Right.
hearing. Yeah.
Yeah, Chris.
Get a bump helmet. Things are gonna fall.
Chris, I think I agree with you. Everything
My bunker
will be floating
finally
in
came in
midair.
handy.
Zero gravity, yes. So I agree with both of you, actually. I think that the falling cows would suck and that everything floating in midair would suck. And realistically, there's all the conjecture surrounding that whole whatever the hell it is they're talking about. Because if the world is spinning at 26,000 miles per hour, however fast we're moving through space, and spinning on top of that, if gravity loses its effect on you and I and our weightlessness becomes a thing, the world is still spinning. So what does that mean for the earth underneath us, right? Does the crust keep moving? Does the water keep moving? Are we right? So there's all of that nonsense. So like you said, I think water is going to be a huge problem alongside cows and everyone floating in zero gravity, Chris.
Kind of the person he was talking about in the electric cart,
Crazy.
scooping the fish sticks out of the
Oh
frozen
yeah,
section.
yeah.
I pay to see that. You walk, you talk. Over to the side.
It's going to be comical and sad at the same time. It's like a Benny Hill episode with people dying.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Fantastic answer, Will, as always. I expect nothing less from you. We're coming up to top of the hour. We'll do one more and then we'll launch into a fun little thing that we did last time we played this silliness. Gary, pivoting back to you. So this is one that probably is going to hit home for a lot of the viewers. So Gary, you teach control, right? Not chaos. How do you explain restraint to people who aren't emotionally ready to fight?
Oh gosh, restraint as in like not just going for their emotional reaction or physical restraint?
It's emotional restraint.
Emotional.
So again, emotionally, they're not ready to fight.
Yeah.
In the sense of the Jordan Peterson quote about harmless people versus dangerous people. In that same sense, those people who aren't emotionally ready to fight, how do you teach those types of people control and self-restraint and control? You see.
Gosh.
We're ending on a high note, Gary.
Right. I know. I'm over here like, since I deal in a lot of physical skills, emotional restraint is something that honestly I don't think about too much.
Yeah.
I guess when I think about emotional restraint, I'm thinking about not acting versus somebody who is already predestined not to act. And now they've got to be, taught to restrain their emotions even more. I mean, is that kind of where you're going with it? I mean,
Sure. So like you teach people self-defense, right?
Yeah.
You teach people how to survive a fight, like we just covered at the last MAG meeting. In that, so like in a world without rule of law, those types of people that the ones that were too scared to play with the OC spray are the ones that they don't understand the dead arm slap and they weren't taking it too serious. Those people, that emotional restraint that they don't understand, like they get mad, they lose their temper, and that they have that impotent rage, but the inability to do anything about that. But you put a gun in their hand, and now all of a sudden, they're badass.
Right. How do you teach that? Unfortunately, I don't think some people in that situation where it's an emergency, where they're under that kind of stress, I don't think those people are going to be able to control themselves. I don't think they're going to be able to exercise that restraint. And no amount of instruction is going to help that person who under stress is going to want to do what they're going to do, what feels right. I don't think that they're restrained. I don't think I can teach them restraint. I think they're going to be part of the problem. I think they're going to be they're going to be the people who, we're going to have to contend with, because they're the people who probably are going to be like, I want that cookie. I'm going to go take that cookie
Yeah.
because they already don't have much emotional restraint as it is. If that's the case, and now we put a gun in their hand or a bat in their hand, they're going to be the ones that we have to defend against.
Yeah. Let's just say that
That's right. Take the cookie. You know.
these are the people that immediately in the apocalypse went to the fetish leathers and strapping people to the front of trucks.
I think
right?
so. Yeah. And I think, unfortunately, there's going to be more of that than there are going to be the people who have
Restraint. Yep. The dangerous types Peterson talks about. Yeah. Very good answer. Very good answer.
Well,
I expected nothing less.
I got there. It took me a little bit, but I got there.
Well, that's a hard question.
It's a hard
Because again, you know,
dissected it.
the average person doesn't understand restraint on a daily level anyway, because most people, like we talked in the group. So just to give you guys some context, in the class that Gary came out and gave a master workshop on, you know, just very basic self-defense, the L stance, some very basic strikes, but more so the survival mindset, the survivor mindset. Hey, Becca, how you doing, babe? One of the things that we talked about in there was those people that, here we go, that have never been in a situation to fight for their life. Like we asked the room, how many people here have actually been in a situation where with this fight, if they felt like if they didn't win, they were going to die. And maybe 4 people raised their hand out of the, you know, couple dozen that were in there. So the average, I think in this society that we live in today, the average person does not understand what it is to have their ass whooped, or to be in a fight or flight situation where they might die if they don't fight or run away.
I think you're hitting on something that is absolutely huge, what you just said. In our society, I don't think we have very many people under the age of 40 who probably have been punched.
Right.
They haven't been punched in the mouth.
Right.
Yep. And what does that translate to? That translates to everything from
keyboard ninjas.
Absolutely. You don't know what it's really like to be in a fight.
Yeah.
You don't know what it's really like to have somebody trying to beat you up, trying to hurt you.
Yeah.
Either for fun, maybe they didn't play sports, so they didn't have any collision sports like football or anything where they understand that pain of getting knocked out and having to get back up again. So yeah, we're going to deal with a lot of those people who have never been in that situation, and now they're fighting over some cookies. And boy, we see it every day at the school. Just the amount of kids who have never been in any kind of physical anything. I mean, nothing physical at all. And it's scary and sad that they haven't done any kind of anything beyond just, you know, existing and getting up to go in the other room to go to the restroom or get something to eat or something.
Not to quote another Chris Pratt line, but it's like, you genetically created this creature. You raised it in a lab. Now it's out. It doesn't even know what it is yet,
sure,
let alone where it fits into the food chain.
Yeah.
It's that kind of moment.
It is. And to tie it all together in what I would think would be the most easy, synonymous description that we all can understand and relate to is Mike Tyson. And Mike Tyson said it best. Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face.
Yep.
There it is.
And really and truthfully, you can think about what I'm going to do, or if someone does this, I'm going to block, and I'm going to spin, and I'm going to counter, and I'm going to punch the groin, and I'm going to do a master Ken, and I'm going to rake the eyes.
You're in heaven thing at the end of the video.
Yeah, right.
You're like, you
Detroit
wake up.
dust. Detroit dust.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Again, respawn.
And that's, oh my gosh. See, I could get on a big tangent about martial
Do
arts and the stuff, and the fact that majority of people, again, they need that, you know, they need to have some kind of realistic training. And if you don't have realistic training, you know, keep your tactics simple. You see all this stuff, what you were just saying, and it's so true, right? You know, about all the kung fu hands and all that crap, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. You obviously have never been in a real fight. You know what you need to do? Keep it simple.
Yes, sir. You
hit them a lot until they stop. Hit them a lot until they stop.
Yeah.
Just club them, you know, and people need to have that. If people want to get hit, if you want to get hit, give me a call. I'm happy to hit you. Okay. So come to class and we'll do it in a controlled environment so you know what it's like to be punched. And then I'll help you work out of it.
Yeah.
Right? I'll help you deal with how you feel emotionally after the fact. So that way you go, oh, that wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
That wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
We can fill up a class. I'll come out and volunteer to be Gary's Gary's punching bag.
Beyond punching bag, like his jujitsu partner, one of the scariest things that ever happened for my wife. I've been in those horrible situations like you've talked about, but for my wife, it's hard for her to actually envision something like that because she's never been in a situation like that. So, like our son, he was growing up here. Same thing with him. He'd never been in one of those, oh shit, I might actually die if I don't win this fight scenarios. So we moved up here. We took him to Heston's. And so Scott pairs him up with this 90-pound girl, and he wrestled in high school. So he's yeah. It was about 30 seconds in before she had him wrapped up in like a weird crab hold and was choking him unconscious. And he was too dumb or arrogant or cocky to tap out. And they were like, okay, he's had enough. But he was like right on the edge, So again, those same people that have never been through this situations, they're going to find themselves in a very emotionally difficult place to process.
They really are. They really are. And how do we get through it? Training.
Yeah.
Right. Training is how we get through it.
Fragout says it best. He says, I'm assuming you're a he. Fragout says, seeing stars when you get punched or tossed to the ground. Don't know until you know. That's exactly it.
Yeah. Right.
That's experience talking, Fragout.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. I got punched one time. I caught an uppercut from an opponent of mine. Right. I ended up training him in firearms and his whole family. Right. So Dan, you're a good dude. I appreciate you. So he hit me with an uppercut in a fight. And yeah, I went out for about that long and I wake up on my back and I just see him standing over me. Right. But he doesn't want to get in my guard because he knows I fight on the ground. He's kind of like, nope, stand up. But yeah, it was one of those situations where I'd never been hit like that before. Yeah. But you know what? I survived, and I realized I kind of gathered my faculties after the fact. And I was kind of like shaking the cobwebs out, and I was kind of like, okay,
you found a vulnerability.
Still keep going,
yeah,
and we can still continue to operate.
Yeah,
it wasn't the end of the world.
Yeah, and uppercuts do suck.
So
uppercuts are brutal.
Ring the bell.
All right, these have been fantastic answers. We're getting into 8 o'clock, getting late. We'll do one thing. We'll do actually several of these one things, and then we'll look at some other options. Bobby's got some announcements from the festival coming up. I think we finally got some really cool stuff to announce, talk about there. But this is what we call lovingly the lightning round. I wish I had some real cool sound effects. We did this last time. Yeah. Lightning!
Boss battle!
Boss battle!
If you know, you know.
Yes. Okay, so in this lightning round, I will randomly point at one of you. You will answer the question about cream corn to the best of your ability. Short, sweet, simple answer. Just rattle off what comes to the top of your head, okay? Everyone understand the rules?
Yep.
All right, clip this stuff, AI. All right, so
it's like, what do I clip?
I don't know.
Because how that works.
Daddy's
Gary, what's one rule you'd break when the shit hits the fan?
One rule: civility. I'm just throwing it out the window. Shit hits fan. I'm going to look out for me and mine, and
amen.
That's it.
Yep, the tribe comes first. Yep. Yeah, very cool. Will, if the mag disappears tomorrow, what fills the gap for you?
Family.
Family. Very good. Very good. Gary, best prep money can't buy.
Best mindset.
Love it. Love it. Mindset. Bobby, comfort or capability?
Capability.
Hell yeah. All day, every day.
For the soft.
It is. It is. It's for the weak. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I love you, honey. Will,
he's not getting the marital embrace tonight,
man. Have fun with your brownies. Your brown eyes.
That's not a mouth hug.
No. Will, you might have a chance still tonight. One skill you'd trade 3 others for.
Literally name my office skills. Like in all actuality, one skill I trade 3 others for. Gaming.
You
I get rid of my gaming skills.
no. What's one skill that you want?
Oh, that I
you
get rid of my current skill. Oh, I misunderstood the question.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Extended stamina.
Oh yeah, of course. Duh.
Oh, come on!
Sorry, I don't know.
Zombies, mechanics. All right, very good. That was a long.
Sorry, I said the question first. I'm sorry. I gotta get rid of one skill. You're giving me 3. What 3 skills? What?
Bobby,
What?
what's the most overrated prep item available in the market right now?
Multi-tools.
I
I don't mean like real ones. I mean like the ones that are like the pocket cards, like 17 punch-out fishing lures. Like, what really is in your wallet? No.
So you're talking like the Temu.
Yeah,
multi-tools.
Temu multi-tools. Like the hammer with the crowbar, but it's like stamped out of a single piece.
Not true multi-tools, the multi-purpose tools.
Anything that's listed as military-grade multi-purpose is probably absolute shit.
I happen to like that episode of Crazy Russian Hacker. Anyways, Gary, who survives longer, the lone wolf or the strong tribe?
Tribe.
Okay, outstanding. William.
Think quicker this time.
I know, sorry.
Hard truth Americans aren't ready to hear.
You haven't done it.
That's fair. Totally fair. Bobby, the prepper mistake you secretly judge.
I don't secretly judge anything. If you stack shit from the floor to the ceiling, you're an idiot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Totally fair.
But that's all you do. You're an idiot.
Gary, trust your gut or trust the plan?
Gut all day.
Oh, yeah, my man. This is why you're Star-Lord. Okay. City or rural during unrest?
Rural.
Yeah, well, then why are you living in the city, bro?
I'm living rural. What are you talking about?
I know. Kidding.
He's semi-rural.
Semi-rural.
Throwing that out there for wolves.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm in the city. Yeah,
Great man. He's totally in the city.
Great man. Bug in or bug out? No caveats.
No such thing as either.
No such thing?
No.
They're one and the same, synonymous?
It's a myth. You train for the real world.
But so no. Do you bug in or do you bug out?
Everybody should be building their houses on hold.
In.
Yeah, I guess.
Bug in.
If we're going to use those terms, bug in. Yeah.
Bug in. All right. Yeah. Outstanding. You survived the lightning round.
I did.
You all win something very cool. Snacks on the table.
All right.
Choose whatever snack you like.
You can take a little off pause.
Or, controversially, you have to choose any weapon on the table and fight to the death.
Yeah, easy.
You didn't go for this?
No.
Yeah, right?
No.
Snacks.
Gosh.
I don't have to unsheathe this. I can just...
Whoa. It's not wrong.
And it's hollow.
Yes. It's going to make one of those Russian wounds. A sucking wound. It's a sucking wound. Okay. So thank you very much. We're coming up to top of the hour. We're going to close this one out and shut it down. I would like to circle back to the open message, but before I do, I think Bobby has some really cool announcements. Can we talk about these?
Yeah, we can talk about it now.
Okay.
We have released the schedule for the 2026 Spring Festival. It is this Spring Festival of rejuvenation and regrowth and rebirth. Some of the big highlights: Grunt Proof. Randall from Grunt Proof going to be our #1 speaker on Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
John the Iron Man Cantrell, our #1 speaker on Friday. We have Dayton from Ballistic Mischief, our #1 speaker on Thursday. And on top of that, we have Viking Preparedness. We have Jake from First Person Prepping. We're going to have midwives. We're going to have Janet back with aromatherapy. We're going to have Greg out there talking about your power systems and how to gauge what you need for small clandestine solar arrays. Sarah's going to be out. Dr. Sarah's going to be out there talking about preparedness for people who are single. It's going to be a fantastic event. May 5th to May 10th. We open the gates at noon on Tuesday the 5th. The real events start Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Three sessions per day, plus special events in the evening. One thing that everyone does need to make a note of, we are moving the potluck to Friday night. Things are getting to be so crowded on Saturday between the children's giveaway, the main giveaway, the potluck, and Bartertown that we've decided to move the potluck to Friday night. So plan for the potluck to be Friday, normal dinner Saturday. That way we have all the time in the world for Bartertown, because that is still ultimately the flagship event that happens at Midwest Preparedness Project.
Check the schedule cards we'll be handing out at the gate. You'll find someone at
Grumpy
TCP.
will be back with the seed and plant exchange. And again, the only two rules for both the seed exchange, seed plant exchange, and Bartertown: nothing that gets me arrested, and no fiat currency. I'm ready.
Love it, love it. Oh yeah, Matt, the birthday boy says, "Viva la Midwest Preparedness Project." All right, that's fantastic. That's a great way to close out the show. Again, Gary, you're a rock star. You're star.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
me.
You bet. Thank you for coming out this evening and slugging it out with us at the table, and with some very perfect answers that I would only expect from someone such as yourself. So again, everybody, everything that we've talked about tonight, the skills, the mindset, the trust, you don't get this from scrolling, right? You don't get to doom scroll this. You get this by coming to the Midwest Preparedness Project MAG meetings. You get this by coming to one of Gary's classes. Maybe. Are we live? Let's see. Apparently the Illuminati did not like that. So,
Oh, the Chinese did not get us tonight.
all right. So again, trying to close this thing out so you guys can go back to your lives on this wonderful Monday morning, Monday evening. I don't know what time it is. You don't get this by doom scrolling. You get this by coming to a MAG meeting. You get this by coming to a workshop. You get this by letting Bobby beat you up or stab you with a pen. It just happens, right? Or share a can of cream corn with him. He'll love you either way, like big spoon, little spoon. Come to the local MAG meetings. Come to the festival like Bobby outlined. We'll look forward to meeting you guys, hanging out, and having some good times. And on that note, we love you guys. Have a fantastic evening. Thanks for joining us for our shenanigans. We'll see you next week as we come back with
Mr. Guest.
Mr. Guest. All right. See you guys. Have a great night.